Welcome to the Painting Coach, and today I'm going to be showing you how to paint some brand new Sisters of Battle, the Celestian Insidians, from the brand new Shadow Hunt box. Now, a huge thanks to Games Workshop for sending me this box early. I'm really excited to get painting. I'm going to paint this Battle Sister in the colours of the Order of the Bloody Rose. Let's get painting. The first thing I've done is prime the miniature with Mephiston Red spray. Now, I tried to get a little bit fancy with this and sprayed it black, sprayed it white, and then sprayed it red. And with the weather at the moment, it was not great. So the prime on this is not fantastic. So I am going to have to go back in with some Mephiston Red paint just to tidy it up. The first thing I've done is take some dark aluminium from Vallejo metal colour and painted all of the areas I want to be silver. Now, if you haven't got this, then you can just use lead belcher from Citadel's. Absolutely fine. It's pretty much the same colour. I just prefer the dark aluminium because it flows a bit better off the brush. When that was dry, I took some Nuln Oil and washed all of the silver. Now, this is nice, easy and straightforward. Normally, I would say take your time and try not to spill it on any other areas. But I was feeling a little bit brave and I decided to basically cover all of the armour with the Nuln Oil as well to get a shade. And this is probably where the paint job started to go a bit wrong. I would never normally do this, but I just thought, why not? And I guess it was just a moment of absent-mindedness. But it's made this a lot harder for me later on. So I would probably just be a little more careful with your shade. Don't cover the whole thing like I just have. So once that was all dry, I decided to start highlighting the silver, and the colour I used for this was chrome from Vallejo Model Air. Now, this is a nice and easy step where some areas you can just drag the brush across the area to get a nice crisp highlight. In other places, you just need to be very careful in terms of how you paint it on. Now, I have not thinned this at all because it covers quite nicely and the consistency comes out of the pot, but I am using it on a wet palette, so it will just flow fairly smoothly. Next, it was time for the gold. Now, there's not a huge amount of gold on this model. I used some Dragon's Gold from Tooth & Coats. If you haven't got this, Retributor Armour from Citadel is absolutely fine. The reason I've not used a lot of gold on this versus the black colour scheme on the box art is because the red and the gold gives a real kind of, to me anyway, corn feel. And that's not what we want with our Sisters of Battle. So in terms of what I'm painting with the gold, there's very little. So there's a little bit of iconography across the model, some fleur-de-lis, but I'm also going to paint that. I'm going to call it a crown. It's not a crown. It's not a tiara either, really. The headpiece. I'm going to paint that with gold and the muzzle of the melter pistol. A quick shade with Reikland Fleshshade should give us a nice, deep, rich gold. Just be careful not to spill this on any of the silver that we have already finished. Then to highlight the gold, I took Glistening Gold from Tooth & Coats. Now, if you haven't got this, you can use Liberator Gold from Citadel. It's just really important you make sure that wash is completely dry. Work your way across the model. Again, in some places, you'll be able to drag the brush, you get a nice crisp highlight. In other areas, you'll just have to really carefully paint it on. Like I said, there's not a huge amount of gold, so you can just take your time with this because it's not going to take very long. Next, it was time to paint in all the black elements. Now, the colour I'm using for this is AK Black. In terms of what I'm aiming for here, I've got the haft on that nice big scepter weapon, and I've got the inside of the robes. Now, traditionally, Order of the Bloody Rose have black robes or black habits, and then the inside is white, but the more veteran sisters have the white on the outside and the black on the inside, so you can differentiate them on the battlefield, and that's what I wanted to do with this. So I painted all the inside of the robes, and this Sister Superior's got a little bit of an extra robe across her shoulder as well. So I painted the top part of that black. Next up, I started highlighting all the black, and the colour I used for this is Eshin Grey. Now, this doesn't cover fantastically well, which is great. It'll blend into the colour underneath. And what I'm looking to do here is, if I can, I'll drag the brush across those edges, getting nice crisp highlights. And in the areas I can't drag it, I'm just going to carefully paint it on. If I do put it on too thickly or I do put too much on, it's always easy to go back and repair it with some black paint. Now, while I had that Eshin Grey out, I also painted the hair on the Sister Superior because I was going to go for a little bit of a grey hair so she appears a little bit older. The final highlight on the black is with Dawnstone. Now, this is a much brighter grey, so it's really going to stand out when you apply it. What I like to do is just drag my brush across the sharp edges of the model, and this gives me that really nice crisp highlight. So just take your time with this, and if you do make any mistakes, you can always use the previous colours to fix it. When it came to the hair on the sister, all I did here was just follow the shape of the model and look to pick out a little bit of the chunky areas, leaving the darker colour in the recesses. Now, this model's really small, so you don't have to worry about individual strands at this point. I just wanted to make sure that I could pick out and get the rough shape of the hair, and of course being very careful around the silver and the gold already finished. I was in two minds what to paint next, but I decided to go with the bright white on the robes. So to base them, I'm using Corax white. And the reason I decided to paint the robes is because essentially what we'll do now is paint from the outside in. So everything that we paint after this will kind of be layered on top. So as you look at it, you can see things like the belts, the parchment, they're all on top of the robes. So with the Korax white, thin it with a little water so it flows nicely off the brush. Of course, be careful around areas you've already finished. And you will probably need 2 coats of this to get a nice even coverage. It's really important you get an even coverage because that red underneath will show through given half a chance. While I had the Korax white out, I took a 50-50 mix of this and the Dawnstone from the previous stage, and I used this to finish up the highlights on the hair. So this is where we're doing a lot thinner, and we're trying to get kind of more strands effectively, and this will just be the last highlight on the hair. So we've got some nice grey hair going on. To shade all of the grey, I use some Soul Blight Grey wash. Now, I kind of regretted this after using it because it probably would have just been easier to use something like Administratum Grey in the deepest recesses. But if you're using the Soul Bright Grey, make sure it doesn't settle too heavily in one particular area. Now, it is quite thick, I find, so if you want to thin it with some contrast medium, that might help it as well. But focus getting this into all the recesses and around all the studs, etc. across the model, because that's going to give you that nice, deeper colour that we'll highlight up from next. When that's completely dry, I went back to Korax White and started highlighting up the white elements of the habit, making sure to leave the darker grey in the recesses and only focusing on the raised folds. Now, as you can guess, this is one of those models that isn't going to plan in terms of how I imagined it in my head. So I'm really having to fight my choices a little bit here. And I guess the point of this video and the point of me saying this is that even if it goes a little bit wrong, it's okay. You can still fix it. You can still pull it back. You don't have to start again. To finish up the white, I took some AK white, which is a nice bright white. If you haven't got this, White Scar from Citadel is absolutely fine. And generally what I'm looking to do here is just drag it down the sharpest elements of all of the folds and material. Drag the brush across the bottom as well. And this is just going to give you a really nice crisp highlight that stands out nicely. Moving on to all of the leather. So we've got things like all the belts. We've got some packs. We've got the gloves. We're going to base all these using Rhinox Hide. So just take your time. Again, we've got lots of elements on the model that are already finished. We don't want to spill onto those parts. The first highlight on all the leather is with Doombull Brown. And when I say all the leather, we pretty are going to paint all of the leather. We're just going to leave that Rhinox Hide in the recesses. Just take your time when you apply the Doombull Brown, focus it on the raised areas. Like I said, leave that Rhinox Hide in the recesses, and it's always easy to go back in and fix it if you need to. The final highlight on all the leather is with Skrag Brown. Now, this is going to be more of your traditional kind of line edge highlight, but we don't want to apply too much of it because it'll push the colour of the leather a bit too far to orange. So just take your time with this because I've got a really good point on my brush. Barely any paint, and I'm just trying to pick out those areas that are going to catch the most light where we've got those big folds. To base all of the parchment, I'll take some Reikland Fleshshade. Now, I've thinned this with a little water. As you can see, it's not covering particularly well across the red underneath it. That's fine. We'll do 2 coats and it'll work out quite nicely. To shade the parchment, I'll take some Agrax Earthshade. Now, again, it's worth saying here, be careful when you're painting across those areas you've already finished because you don't want to get this brown stain all over the white. To highlight back up, we'll go back to Reikland Fleshshade, make sure that wash is dry before you do, and then we'll just do some horizontal lines, particularly focusing across those areas that are raised away from all the folds, and that's going to give you a really nice base of a highlight. It's going to really look like paper. And then to finish that up, we'll take some Pallid Witch Flesh and we'll just drag this down the edges. And we'll also just drag it horizontally across those most raised areas as well. As I was doing this, I realized I didn't thin the Pallid Witch Flesh enough because it's normally completely thin. So I'm having one of those days when it's painting day. You could probably tell it's quite frustrating. But again, just stick at it and you'll get through it. For the Purity Seal wax, I based that using Caliban Green and then just edge highlighted it with some Warpstone Glow. Moving on to the face of the sister. Now, there's barely any flesh on display here, so I just took some Cadian Flesh Tone and did my best to cover all of the bits that I could actually see. Normally, I wouldn't bother using a wash here, but I did go back in with some Reikland Fleshshade. And the reason for this is I realised that there's some areas that are going to be in shadow, and actually the Reikland Fleshshade has helped me give some definition around things like the nose. When that was completely dry, I went back in with the Cadian Flesh Tone and highlighted everything up. Now, I'm focusing on things like the nose, the cheekbone, because this is female flesh, the features are not as harsh as you'd have on a male head, for example. I finished that up using some Kislev Flesh, again, pretty much just covering over the Cadian Flesh Tone from the previous step, not worrying too much about getting nice, sharp lines, because actually we do want a little bit of a softer effect. Now it was time to go and tidy up all of the red armor. And this is where really you can see the mistakes I made earlier really coming home to roost. And this is one of those parts that took a lot longer than it should have because I had to go in and make all these repairs. So what I'm doing is I'm taking some Mephiston Red, I'm painting over all the red, clearing up all of the mistakes I've made. There are so many, you can see them. I was kind of about halfway through this. I was like, this is probably going to be one of the worst videos I've ever put up. But I think it's important that you see that I do make mistakes, how I fix them, rather than just me binning this off and painting something else so you don't see it. So I think that's important here. When that was dry, I went back in with some Evil Sun Scarlet and pretty much painted the majority of the red armor again. And this is going to give me a really nice bright armor. I'm leaving the darker red in some of the recesses and in all the armor joins, but I'm working my way across the model, like I said, painting the majority of it with this Evil Sun Scarlet. And that's going to give me a really nice bright and popping red armor. As a first highlight, I took some Wild Rider Red, and then what I look to do here is drag it across those sharp edges of the miniature. Now, this is kind of an orangey red, it's a little bit desaturated, so try and get it as crispy you can. You can always go back in with some Evil Sun Scarlet to tidy it up if you do apply it a little bit too thickly. You'll notice that the base seems to have got a little bit of colour in it as well. That's because I wanted to get it done and let it dry whilst I was having some food, so it just saved me a bit of time on the video editing. You base your miniature however you feel best. And the last highlight was with a little bit of Troll Slayer Orange. Now, you want to use this fairly sparingly. You want to keep it inside the Wild Rider Red from the previous stage, but don't worry too much. Like I said, if you do go on a bit too thickly, you can always go back in and repair it. And generally what I'm looking to do with this is drag my brush across the model so I do get nice crisp highlights with this. I don't want this to have any softness to it. We'll finish up with the lens and some of the lights on the back of the backpack. So we'll base these with AK White. I'm then going to use Talasar Blue on the lens to get a nice blue effect, which contrasts nicely with the red and the white. And I'm also going to paint one of the lights on the backpack this colour. And to finish up, I'll take some Striking Scorpion contrast paint and just pop this over that screen area and the other light. And there we have it. This Sister of Battle from the Order of the Bloody Rose is done and ready for the tabletop. I've just gone on and added some thin black lines across that part and I've painted the eye in as well. But I really hope you enjoyed this tutorial. I really hope you see how I took a miniature that didn't want to be painted and that I didn't really want to paint, and it just got a little bit stressful there at one point, but actually managed to turn it around and get an effect that I'm actually really happy with and kind of makes me want to paint the rest of this kill team as well. So make sure you check out all of my other content here. Thank you so much for watching. Leave a like and a comment down below. I'll see you next time.